everybody. Welcome back again to a little Austin Weekend Sports. It is Tennessee football time again. We have already finished up
Week
2 weeks, and we're going to talk a little bit about the team that was ETSU. I don't know if they are anymore.
72 to 17.
72 to 17. I would hope Tennessee would show a little pop. I think we got the pop.
I think so.
Yeah, when you score 24 points in the first quarter, and then you score 24 points in the second quarter, and you have 48 at halftime, you take out your starting quarterback. It's not a bad day.
Absolutely not.
Of course, ETSU is just as just an FCS team. We know it was just a warm-up. It was really just a little bit more than a scrimmage game. We way outmatched them, but we scored the majority of those points with vanilla plays. We didn't do a whole lot too fancy. Looked good on the quarterback side, looked pretty good on the defense side, but we'll go ahead and go over our pros and cons for the Tennessee ETSU game. All right, for the pros, what do we got pros there, Austin?
Scored the most points in the Tennessee has ever scored in the AP poll era.
That is the most we have ever scored in the AP poll era. And it was also what game? Our 500th game. In our 500th game, we scored the most. Last year, we scored how many? 71. So we upped it by 1 point. So that's cool. We got 72 points this year, and that is the most that we had ever scored. I think we got 41 first downs too, which is the most first downs we had ever got in a game before. I think the most impressive thing, again, is Joey Aguilar through 2 games has how many touchdowns?
5.
How many turnovers?
0.
I think we maybe underestimated Joey a little bit, which is great. We didn't know what we were getting. I was really thinking he was going to be this way more than not, though, because he had 24 interceptions the last couple of years, but he was under duress, being chased a lot, and then they were behind a lot in their game. So he was having to throw a lot of risky, iffy passes just trying to get his team back into it. He doesn't have to make as many of those dangerous throws now because he's got a more solid team and a better solid team around him. So, but Joey was a definite positive. What else do we have there?
Speaking of which, each starter that played in the game played well.
Yeah, we actually got to play 4 quarterbacks, I think.
That's what happens when you score 70 points.
Yeah, Merklinger came in. Passing was a little bit off. That just shows you how on time Joey is right now. McIntyre come in, looks good. We even got
the guy over close to us from
Northview. Yeah, we even got the Northview Academy. Some true freshman people in there. Really, we got to play a lot of people that need to. And again, what we've said in the past, I think those games are best for looking at all those players and seeing, hey, this guy could play this year, or hey, this guy's probably going to be a next year players for us. I think those games are really good for that. Plus, you get more reps. More reps is always good. What else we got there?
Clean offensive line pocket.
He did. He hasn't been chased much. Of course, again, it's been Syracuse defense, which is not great. It's been ETSU, which is an FCS team, but still, our offensive pocket has been pretty clean.
I don't know how clean it'll be after this.
Now,
week,
the pocket's going to go from this to this
next week.
Next week, because Georgia's coming up. But still, though, this has been a clean pocket. There hasn't been a lot of running for your life. You want to know how many rushing yards Joey had this week?
0 rushing yards.
He didn't have to rush.
He didn't have to run.
He didn't have to run.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of running, we had some really good running. Star Thomas is starting to look like a star.
How funny.
How funny. He had, what, 3 TDs this week, I think? He went into the season as the 3rd string quarterback, but he's probably produced the most out of all of our running backs up to this point. So I'm really curious when we get to Georgia. Honestly, though, I think out of Bishop and Lewis and Star Thomas, we have had the best. That's the best running back room we've had since at least Dillon and Wright. And who was the third running back? I can't remember his name. But we had 3 great running backs in that room. So I think this is a terrific. And this running back room, we'll see at the end, maybe one of the best we've had. And it may be the best running back room. I think it might be the best running back room in the SEC right now. We got a great running back room. And what else we got?
Good play calling.
Yeah, we had some good creative play calling. We saw a little bit of everything. We saw some of our favorite wide receiver screens. But we saw the deep ball.
But thankfully not as much.
No, the catch that Matthews made where he jumped up, high pointed that ball, picked it right out of the sky and got that 53-yard touchdown was beautiful. Maybe might not have should have thrown that pass against Georgia. It might not have been successful, but the fact that Matthews saw it, he was going left. Joey waved him, threw deep right. He curled back over. He tracked it. He high-pointed it. He caught it in the middle of 4 people. That was definitely promising.
Now let's move on to the cons.
Now it's hard to pick out some bad stuff when you're going to pick out some bad stuff, but there's always something that you can improve on. So what kind of cons do we have?
Inconsistencies between the accurate throw from the quarterback and the wide receivers catching the ball.
It was a whole lot better game 1 to game 2 though. There was a big improvement in Joey's throws. I think game 1 he may have been a little overhyped, and maybe his footwork wasn't what quite it should have been game 1. You know, you're a little nervous, you're a little hyped to be inside the Falcon Stadium, you know. He was throwing a little high, throwing a little strong. Game 2 did look a whole lot better, though.
Still had those occasional.
Still, there was an occasional, but he's on a completion percentage right now of 66% for the year, which his average coming into this year was 60%. So he is completing a higher percentage in Heupel's offense than he had in the past. So that's a good thing. What else we got? Like I said, there wasn't a whole lot, but a couple more things.
Clean up the secondary play.
We're still, and again, we've got a lot of injuries in our secondary.
This was mentioned in the final grade.
Yeah, we've got a lot of injuries, and the positive thing is Colton Hood has come in and looked fantastic. He's looked his part. I'm glad we took him from Colorado. I'm glad we took him because he has filled a lot of shoes from the injuries. So he's been awesome.
They're gonna have to ask them to do a lot though. Next week.
Every team though has made some inside completions on us that
routes
that concerns you a little bit. The
slant has been very vulnerable to our defense.
We haven't got a lot of pressure this year with just rushing 4 either.
So that means
we would have to
risk.
And I think that's where some of those inside completions are coming from, is we're having to pull some of those linebackers out of that hole. So it opens it up a little bit more for those throws. So that concerns me a little bit that we're not rushing, that we're not getting to the quarterback with just 4. But that may be on purpose. We may be not showing what we are. We've been playing some vanilla offenses and some vanilla defenses too coming through this. So we'll see. But the thing that concerns me the most is something that we've had some problems out of every game.
Quarterback center exchanges.
That
Do you
one
miss
snap.
the last time? Do you miss the last time when you were the hands under the butt cheek of your offensive lineman and you just have to?
The ball comes right there. Yeah, when you're back in that shotgun formation or the pistol formation, halfway, somebody's got to snap it back to you. And we had one go 6 feet to Aguilar's right and caused a fumble. And they got the ball on the 5-yard line and scored a touchdown. Plays like that in a 3-point game
cannot happen.
Cost you the game. If you did that against Georgia, you're probably going to lose. So that one play could cost you the game. You're saying, no, the game's not, doesn't bend on one play. Sometimes it bends on one play. Sometimes one bad play like that, you give up 7 points, and it's hard to make that back up again. It could give a team momentum. So the quarterback center exchange, a little worrisome. I hope they really went through the ringer this week and worked on that a little bit extra.
Now let's get to the overall grade.
Yeah, overall,
when you score 72 points in a football game, you get an A.
you can't hardly fuss about 72. I mean, we're nitpicking here just to find something to complain about. When you have 48 points at halftime and you score 72 over the game, what are you going to complain? You know what I'm saying? When you have 2 receivers with 100 yards,
nothing to complain about.
What are you going to complain about? And despite some injuries in the secondary, and the injuries this early in the year concerned me a little bit. David Sanders still hasn't come back yet. That concerns me a little bit. McCoy hasn't come back yet, and he's not going to be back this week. Concerns me a little bit. So, the injuries have, but that is one thing. The injuries concern me more than the play of the team. The play of the team is pretty strong right now.
But injuries can completely derail you.
Injuries can derail you. Now, we'll just talk just really quick. The game coming up this week for Tennessee is
Georgia. Da, da, da.
Georgia week.
It's Georgia week, and it is definitely feeling like it. Online, Georgia and Tennessee fans poking at each other, beefing with each other.
Georgia week, baby. It's all fun. It's Georgia week, baby. But Georgia's the bully on the school bus right now.
They're the biggest bully on the block, and they just coming off an SEC title last year.
The SEC title, they've won a couple championships the last 5 years. They're the bully on the block. It's not Alabama anymore.
It's Georgia.
It's Georgia. So Georgia has every right to be the bully because they're the bully. They
get to talk the most trash. They get to puff their chest the most.
Until somebody cocks back and pops them in a jaw and knocks them down, they're the bully.
They're the biggest. They're the biggest bodybuilder. They're like the Arnold Schwarzenegger in the Terminator right now.
Now, the only thing that this is the closest that Georgia has been to not the superpower this year because of the youth that they have.
Plus, they're not too big on Bobo over there.
No,
that's the play.
The offensive coordinator, their play callers, not what they used to have. And what was Monken?
Todd Monken.
Todd Monken, who is the offensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens right now.
With him and with Monken and Smart, it was like shake
and bake. It was you couldn't beat them when you had Monken on the offense and Kirby on the defense. Georgia was Alabama when you couldn't beat them. Now the Bobo's in there, the offense is shaky.
Taking a step back.
And then I think the Neal program has sucked a little bit of the talent out of the defensive side too. Like last year, they had bookend defensive ends that you couldn't stop them. They would maul you every single play. This year, and again, it's been pedestrian. Georgia hasn't played anybody yet, but they don't look like they have those superpower. They don't have, Superman at one end, Aquaman on the other.
Of course, you might say this, and you might be on the next post-game talk.
I might be eating a little crow next week. But just from watching the first 2 games, they don't look like that super powerhouse that they were. But they still have 11 5-stars on this roster.
And Kirby Smart is, I would say, the best defensive coach in the country.
He is the best. So when you've got 11 5-stars, and I think they got 20, I don't know, around 25 to 28, something like that, 4-stars.
I have respect for what Kirby Smart built because
he has still got talent.
But at the same time, too, having a little bit of pride in your old school would also be a little bit of I'm struggling to put the words together, to put the statement together. You probably know what I mean.
Oh yeah, this is sort of a rival week. The line on the Georgia game opened up at 6.5, 7. It was 7 going in. It opened at 6.5, and with a day and a half, it went to 3.5. So there's a lot of people betting on Tennessee. For it to go down 3.5 points,
I just don't know. History has taught us that Kirby Smart has figured out Heupel's offense.
What's the average points that Tennessee has been beaten by since Heupel come in? I mean, what's our average scoring?
Our average in terms of
scoring points.
First year was 39 points per game. Second year 46. Third year 31, 32-ish. And the fourth year 36 on rounded up. Okay,
guess how much we scored against Georgia each of those 4 years? On average.
17.
17 was the high. 14 was what we averaged.
So we average
14 to 17. Yeah, Kirby has our number. Their DBs are really good. They press. They're up here, on you. When you try to jump
our
off,
receivers have not responded well to it.
Our receivers have not responded well to the press coverage. They've struggled to get off the line, and we do not throw a lot well. But of course, the last 2 years we've had not Hendon Hooker. Let's just put it that way. This year we've got Hendon Hooker-ish, Hendon Hooker light so far, maybe.
Like a Bud Light.
Like a Bud Light. It's not the Bud, but it's a Bud Light. So Joey Aguilar so far has shown some promise. We might be able. Again, I'm a Tennessee fan, so I'm my head's in the clouds. I know, all right, you're gonna get your butt kicked. It's a possibility because Georgia is the bully. But this year seems more evenly of a battle than we've had in a long time, to be honest. We've got some young, hungry players, some young, hungry wide receivers, some young, hungry. We've got a quarterback that is a senior, not in our system, but he's a senior playing football. That he's not, the moment's not too big for him. He doesn't go out there and all of a sudden, the stars shine. He falls to pieces.
But then again, Heupel has struggled to figure. Like, I would hate to reiterate that point.
That is Heupel's kryptonite so far is Kirby's defense.
So with that being in mind, and with history being the factor here in my decision, I will pick Georgia to win the game.
Yeah, you sort of have to. The 3.5 makes it really hard to pick. It may be. I think it's somewhere around. I think it's gonna be a close game. But it's going to be probably somewhere around 3 to 3.5. If it was 7 points, then I would have probably took Tennessee -7. That might be a little bit too much. But 3.5 is about right. But Georgia, just from their history, and again, we still haven't played that superpower yet, and neither has Georgia, though. We will see. We will see.
So that is our post-game wrap.
But go Vols. Go V-O-L-S. V-O-L-S. Go Vols, go.
On the screen it says it backwards, though.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. But anyways, we are definitely rooting Tennessee on. We definitely hope that they can pull this out. But other than that, we will see you
next week.